health, education, highway commercial, commercial big box, downtown commercial, etc. Because of the market size, anything that happens within the city limits encourages some types of additional development, and it also discourages other types of future development. Washougal is a single community and a single commercial market. As we start to paint the picture of Washougal's future, zoning will be the most complex and important issue the elected city officials will face. Many a times we assume zoning is a simple decision, but it is not. The impacts normally last 40 years or longer before there is a new opportunity to redevelop and fix past mistakes. During this time, the path for a generation is determined because each decision creates a path that cannot be reversed. The decisions impact the health and happiness of the community, creates future revenues and liabilities, determines the sense of connection citizens may feel towards their community, and creates some opportunities and precludes others. Planning. The citizens of Washougal have expended significant time in the past 20 years attending hearings and providing input to the downtown revitalization plan that has begun to be implemented in recent years. The stated purpose of the downtown plan adopted by the city is to create a strong, identifiable town center, producing a heart for the city of Washougal that is surrounded by solid, strong neighborhoods. The downtown planning area envisioned by the plan is not just a few blocks of Main Street, but the entire area between 8th Street and 32nd Street, in between the railroad tracks and Highway 14. The plan represents a start of a vision for the future, but for the time being, it is mostly words and pictures on pieces of paper. The hard work required to turn the plan into reality all lies in front of us. The planning area included in the plan is not the limits of what can be achieved and does not operate in a vacuum separate from the rest of the city or the greater metropolitan area. In order to succeed, the vision needs to be carried to the entire city in the form of a detailed and comprehensive master planning that ensures that each area complements a vision for the future that is thoughtful and strategic. The vision cannot be random, competing visions scattered throughout the city. Development within Washougal's urban core area is not presently economically feasible, and without the development of critical mass, it will not be feasible within the next 10 to 20 years, if ever. If the city chooses at this time to begin rezoning additional properties outside the planning area for commercial and retail, the stated vision for an active and vibrant downtown is not realistic for a city the size of Washougal. If the city fails to achieve this goal, it will spend the next generation lagging the region in the overall quality of community, the ability to attract quality jobs, and will suffer depressed commercial property valuations as compared to potential valuation. It is important to understand the long-term impacts of today's decision on the future. In today's economy, without a strong heart or urban center and a sense of community and pride, the ability to attract new high-quality companies to Washougal is next to zero. Washougal's history is full of examples of not following through on goals and the rezoning and spot zoning of property based upon the day's perceived opportunity. If you drive around town, you will notice many cases of spot zoning and rezoning of properties that was not done as part of a holistic vision or an all-encompassing master plan. I have recently asked the following question to a few people within the community. If a CEO looking to relocate a business in a community that offers a desirable location and a high quality of life for its employees arrives at City Hall asking for a tour, what do we plan on showing them? Washougal's vision and planning for tomorrow cannot follow the failed efforts of other cities. Washougal needs to have a vision that creates a community of hope and meaning, a vision that creates a community filled with citizens that truly believe and care about the quality of their community. The urban model of development has not worked and has created enormous future economic burdens. There are now more people living in poverty in the suburbs in this country than there are in the inner cities. To quote an old Cree Indian saying, only after the last tree has been cut down, only after the last river has been poisoned, only after the last fish has been caught, only then will you find that money cannot be eaten. Economy. Presently, as a nation, we are in an economic situation that is uncharted. As we begin to deal with the future of the national debt, unfunded liabilities of Social Security, Medicare, and public pension, states and localities will be faced with an ever-shrinking pot of federal money now available for infrastructure. If you add up all of the federal, state, and local taxes, presently over 2/3 of every dollar earned in wages in the United States is collected as taxes. This means that even though government will continue to increase taxes in an attempt to fill the budget gaps, there is a limited ability to collect meaningful additional revenues. As the reality of the economic situation is more fully realized over the next 5 or 6 years, there will be dramatic changes in the outlook for the national economy going forward. Many of the jobs that have existed for the past 20 years are for goods and services that are not needed and do not supply any benefit to the global community. Collectively, as a nation, we consume. We borrow money to buy things that we do not need and do not create any future economic value. Retail sales presently represent approximately 70% of our national gross domestic product. This model only works if we continue to borrow money that we do not have, making it unsustainable as we move forward. Most jobs and industries can now be located anywhere in the world. The United States is now the largest debtor nation, the largest consumer nation, and consumes more energy per person than any other nation. The debt and consumption create a cost structure that makes it impractical for many types of businesses located within the United States to compete in the global economy. The future. It will take careful, thoughtful analysis to determine a proper course of action for local communities looking to the future. Wrong decisions today can place a burden on a community for future services that will not be met. We do not know today what the future jobs will be in this country. We do know jobs will no longer be created by consumer borrowing, that public entities will have less capital available, and private citizens will have less money for discretionary spending. I believe communities that focus on quality of community rather than quantity of community will be best positioned to thrive in the coming years. Washougal should not look to the future from the perspective of fear or a lack of confidence. Washougal has more potential and natural advantages than any other community in the local 4-county area. Washougal needs to understand its potential and strive to reach it. It needs to set goals that go beyond traditional thinking and lead the way forward. The future of Washougal depends upon the wisdom of our elected officials. I encourage all of our elected officials to respect the responsibility that you've asked for and the trust that has been placed in your hands by the citizens of Washougal. Best wishes for the future of Washougal. Respectfully, Wes Hickey.
Mr. Mayor.
Council, time for somebody else to speak.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I make a motion to repeal Resolution 926.
Second.
I'd like to talk here a little bit.
Yes.
Policy and Code Committee met today, and to save a lot of verbiage, I'll summarize, but we basically agreed. This is Resolution 926, 2 sides. The front page is a bunch of whereases, much of which could be taken out of Wes Hickey's letter. There's no disagreement there. The rest of it is, now therefore it be resolved that we'll do as follows. 1, develop and implement design review standards that create a distinct, strong identity for downtown, producing a heart for Washougal that is surrounded by solid, strong neighborhoods. That goes on. 2, continue with design and engineering work for downtown renovation improvements on 15th, B Street, 17th, and allow for construction to commence early in 2006. That's complete. That's been done. 3, collaborate with private sector investors in order to secure a commitment to commence construction in early 2006. Also complete. 4, I'll come back to.